Have you ever noticed that two people can work just as hard, but only one keeps winning? It's not always because they're smarter. It's not because they're luckier. And it's definitely not because they wanted it more. There are invisible rules that quietly decide who gets opportunities, respect, money, influence, and success. The strange part is nobody teaches these rules, yet the people who know them seem to keep moving ahead while everyone else wonders what they're doing wrong. Once you see these rules, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Imagine two people walking into the exact same room. Both have the same degree. Both have similar experience. Both prepared for the meeting. But when they leave, only one gets remembered. Why? Most people think life is like a school exam. Study hard, follow instructions, and eventually you'll be rewarded. But the real world doesn't work like school. School rewards correct answers. Life rewards perception. That single difference changes everything. Here's something fascinating. Psychologists have found that people form lasting impressions within seconds. Long before they evaluate your intelligence, they subconsciously decide how much attention you're worth. Think about that. Your opportunities often begin before you've even spoken. That's the first invisible rule. People respond to the story they create about you, not the story inside your head. You might believe you're talented, but if others don't see confidence, clarity, or value, your talent stays invisible. It's like owning $1 million painting locked inside a basement. The painting may be priceless, but nobody can admire what they never see. Now here's where things become uncomfortable. Most people spend years improving their skills. Very few spend time improving how those skills are perceived. And perception isn't fake, it's communication. The second invisible rule is even stranger. People don't reward effort, they reward visible result. Imagine two coworkers. The first works 12 hours every day, but stays quiet. The second works 8 hours, but constantly shares progress, solves visible problems, and communicates clearly. Guess who gets promoted? Not because life is unfair, because the human brain notices outcomes far more easily than invisible effort. This psychological shortcut is called the availability bias. Our minds naturally value what they can easily remember. Hard work, hidden in silence, often disappears. Visible value gets remembered. That doesn't mean you should become arrogant. It means you should stop assuming people automatically know your value. Here's another experiment. Think about the last movie you watched. You probably remember the ending better than the middle. That's because our brains remember peaks and endings more strongly than everything in between. Life works similarly. People rarely remember every small interaction. They remember emotional moments, the way you made them feel, the problem you solved, the confidence you showed when everyone else panicked. Sometimes one unforgettable moment outweighs 100 average ones. Now, let's talk about a rule that quietly controls friendships, careers, and even relationships. People trust certainty more than perfection. Notice something. The most successful speaker isn't always the smartest person in the room. The most followed creator isn't always the most talented. The most respected leader doesn't always have every answer. They simply project certainty, not fake confidence. Clear direction. Humans naturally look for stability. When uncertainty increases, people instinctively follow those who appear calm. Think back to a flight with turbulence. Passengers immediately look at the flight attendants. Why? Because they assume calm behavior means everything is under control. The attendants may feel nervous too, but their composure changes the emotions of everyone around them. That's social psychology in action. Now here's an invisible rule almost nobody notices. People don't compare you to perfection. They compare you to the people around you. This is called the contrast effect. Imagine someone wearing an expensive watch. It looks impressive until they stand beside someone wearing something twice as expensive. Suddenly, the exact same watch feels ordinary. Nothing changed about the watch, only the comparison changed. The same happens with confidence, communication, leadership, even attractiveness. Your environment silently changes how people evaluate you. That's why changing your surroundings can sometimes change your future faster than changing yourself. Now here's the rule that surprises almost everyone. Success isn't only about adding good habits. Sometimes it's about removing invisible limits. Think about elephants. When they're young, they're tied with a rope they can't break. After years of trying and failing, they stop trying. As adults, they become powerful enough to snap the rope instantly, but they never do, because the real rope isn't around their leg anymore. It's inside their mind. Humans do the same thing. I've never been good at speaking. I'm just unlucky. People like me don't become successful. These invisible beliefs quietly become invisible rules, not because they're true, because they're repeated often enough to feel true. Here's something even more dangerous. Most people confuse familiarity with reality. If you've always seen your family struggle financially, wealth starts feeling unusual. If everyone around you avoids risk, playing safe feels normal. If nobody in your circle dreams big, dreaming big starts feeling unrealistic. Your brain protects what feels familiar, even when familiarity keeps you stuck. That's why changing your identity often comes before changing your results. Now let's reveal perhaps the biggest invisible rule of all. Life rarely gives rewards based on fairness. It gives rewards based on value. And value isn't determined by how hard something feels. It's determined by how useful it is to others. One solution can create more value than years of unnoticed effort. One conversation can open a door that thousands of emails never could. One decision can redirect an entire life. That's why successful people obsess over solving important problems instead of proving how hard they work, because the world doesn't measure struggle, it measures impact. But here's the twist almost nobody sees. These invisible rules aren't designed to keep you out. They're simply invisible until someone points them out. Once you recognize them, you start noticing why certain people always seem to attract opportunities, why some conversations change lives, why confidence opens doors that talent alone cannot, why perception, communication, environment, and identity quietly shape your future long before success ever arrives. And maybe the most powerful realization is this: the winners weren't born with a different game. They just learned the rules everyone else couldn't see. So the next time someone says life is all about luck, ask yourself one question: what invisible rule am I still living under without even realizing it?